So let me get this straight. Hey, Rico, this just proves your point. This clown had time to do 18 different things, and the poor prop bet casino just gets disrespected, and he plays a Pac-Man noise and burps into the mic.
Yep. Another day in the life.
Unbelievable.
I've just learned to accept it. Just like they said, just accept it.
And I am counting down the days. How much do you want to bet Lesson comes in and hits Roberto at some point?
Well, I tell you, Lomas Brown wants a piece of Roberto.
Come on.
Really?
Yeah. I was at the game.
No.
I was like, hey, Lomas, congratulations. He was like, you know what? You tell that Roberto I'm looking for him.
Oh, stop it. Lomas is one of the nicest human beings on the planet.
Okay.
Uh-oh. All right, so Roberto's a wanted bet.
He was all nice
gotta
and
go. I'll see
smiley
you guys
until he
later.
was like, wait a minute. Yeah, you tell that Roberto I got something for him.
Oh, my
Why don't we have
God.
Lomas in on a Friday? It'll
I
be
told
exciting.
him. I was like, hey, Lomas, here's my key card. Feel free. His office is in the back. And
So
after my new open, I'm going to just walk him back there. There you go.
That's
Here.
right.
Yeah.
You put him back in Roberto's office when it's pitch black. Have him sitting in the chair when Roberto arrives late.
I'd have a heart attack.
I know. All right, so I've heard TJ's signature heavy breathing. TJ, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, how you doing?
I'm good. I
Was
thought
that me?
I
I was
heard
wondering
you.
who that was. Lieutenant Diane.
So, look,
What's up?
I
love
got
my
new
buddy
legs. So here's the deal. Foxhole. Straight up. I want to know, and I'm not asking you to attack anybody. I'm not asking you to go crazy. But, TJ, they don't win this game, their season's toast. And I think it's time to start asking questions about Dan Campbell. So are you in the foxhole or not as we get ready for Sunday?
Can I go in like waist deep?
No.
Or do I have to go all the way in or I'm all the way out?
All
Because
in.
if I got to choose, then I'm all in. Because this is just a game. If you want to show us that you're different and you want to show us that you're better, which is all we've been hearing the last couple months, you got to win this game, right? You just have to. So, I know the stats of starting 0-2 and the playoffs and whatnot. I don't know how that's going to change eventually now with the 17-game schedule. But, I especially with both of them at home. You want to show us you're a different team. You want to show us you're a better team. This game, you got to win.
So my question
simple.
is, if they lose, I'm with you. I expect them to win. And if they don't deliver upon my expectation, I think, and no one's talking about firing the man in week 2, but I think it's okay to start holding Dan Campbell accountable. And I use the example, and I know you hate New York, you hate New Yorkers. I know, TJ. But Robert Saleh is already entering the hot zone. And it's year 2. His rookie quarterback's hurt. DGAF. So my point is, it's not unreasonable after the honeymoon's over last year. We have to start judging this man. Is that unfair on my part?
No, it's not. I think, like you said, you nailed it. I mean, last year was the honeymoon phase. It was the, hey, you're not quite getting the job done, but we like the effort. We like the way your team's playing. We like how, you're doing so much with so little. Well, now this year is, it's like you said, man, it's the honeymoon's over. Now you got to start doing the dishes. Now you got to start vacuuming the living room.
Oh,
now you
my
got to start
God.
doing the little chores. You're not just going to lounge around anymore and take a free ride. So it's totally different. And look, I think the coaches, they know it too. I mean, Coach Campbell always talked about the past couple weeks, especially was, how hard cut down day was because they're going to have to let go of some really good players because, the talent level's so much better. Well, nobody cares anymore if you're just playing close games again. Nobody cares that, you played Philly tough and you got it back to a 3-point game. It doesn't matter. It's about results. It's about wins and losses. And, I don't think after last week, I think we all, for the most part, expected them to lose that game. I know, Mike, you said you thought they had a chance to win, but
I did.
my expectations haven't changed after that game. I still think they're going to be that 7-8 win mark. Last week losing to Philly, I didn't count that as a win anyway. So, going forward, my expectations are still the same. But if you lose this game that you're supposed to win, these are the ones. This is where you have to show us you're different. You're finally favored in the first time in the past 2.5
games.
seasons. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of football games. you're expected to win, and you have to. And it's week 2, Mike. So, there's kind of that fine line of how much pressure do you have to put on it early in the season. You still got 15 games after this one. If they lose one, they're not supposed to. Can they make up for that in the back end by winning one they're not supposed to? Right, but it's TJ, you don't want to overreact, but still, you don't want to overreact. You got to get off to a good start.
You don't want to overreact, but then you're looking at going on the road to Minnesota. Here's what I don't want to see is all of a sudden they start off horribly and then win a lot of meaningless games. And then, I told you they were going to win 6. Like, you were already out of this thing.
So with this season in your mind, Rico, and I don't remember what you said, but I think most of us were kind of around that 7-8 win mark. Rico's at 5. Okay, so your expectations are low anyways.
Yeah.
But Mike,
Rico's already left the building.
Right, but Mike, our expectations, certainly an 8-win season's different if you start 1-7.
Right.
And you already knock yourself out rather than if you're sitting around 500, 5-5, 6-6, you win a couple games, you lose a couple, you barely miss the playoff. That certainly leaves a different taste in your mouth what kind of team you have. But at the same time, look, last week, like we talked about a little bit, kind of felt like the San Fran game from last year where it started to get out of hand and it kind of came back. But at the same point, it was different, right? It was different. I thought it was a more encouraging game. And I thought, look, at the end of this thing, I think we all can agree that Philly's probably going to be a pretty good team. So I think there were some encouraging things. But like you said, man, it all comes down to this. Nobody cares about the effort. Nobody cares about, just the young guys improving and the young guys playing hard. People want to see this team win. And if you want to show us you're a better, different team than what you've been the last couple of years, this is a game you have to win.
So, and I mean, this is for both of you because I have never been wired this way. Like, TJ, why is it that people are so afraid to hold the team to wins and losses? They try to make it about everything else. And it's like, I gave you last year. He had carte blanche to just go 2-14 because we knew what he inherited. We knew it was going to be bad as long as they played hard and as long as they didn't go winless. Okay. We opened up game 1 this year. We saw the same stupidity, the same ridiculous mistakes. Team captain tossed out, mismanaged the clock, beat the snap, the onside kick. TJ, if they open up 0-2, what the hell changed? The answer would be nothing. So why can't people just look in the damn mirror with their team?
I don't know if I agree with you on that, Mike. I think last year was different because you got a first-year coach and you knew how just bad the roster setup was. I agree. For everything this year, though, I mean, I got to be honest with you. And look, you do this every day. You talk to more people, fans than I do. But I kind of get the feeling, the overall feel that this year people expect results. I don't think there's anybody that's going to give them another free pass for if it happens to be another similar season as we saw last year. So let me clarify.
Let me clarify one thing. I did a bad job here. This week with the Philly thing, TJ, they were handing out participation trophies, and Rico and I almost had nervous breakdowns. So this week on this show, and by the way, other people at this station, respectfully, we're giving out gold stars for this performance. And I'm tired of it.
Yeah, well, that's just ridiculous.
Doug, please.
That's ridiculous. I mean, we all watched the game. Were there encouraging things? I think so. Were there things that looked a whole lot like last year? Certainly there were. So, but like we said, I mean, it's week 1. You don't want to really overreact too much. But the thing is, you have to see – you almost have to see immediate improvement, right? And I think that was something we were hoping to see last week going into week 1. Let's not wait 2 or 3 weeks to watch this team get better. We want to get off to a fast start. We want to get off to a hot start. So that was discouraging. But, yeah, anybody that was, saying that last week was, a good performance by any means, I think that's a loser attitude. I think that's the same attitude we all had last year, which in my opinion was fair. But this is a different year, and that's all we've been hearing for the last couple months. And, so far, based off one game, it hasn't been any different.
Rico, I don't want to step on you here, but we're not in the same room. I want to make sure I'm not – I got a zillion questions. Go ahead if you got one.
No. Mike, you guys go right ahead because for me, I need to see the improvement on the defense. Game 1 to game 2, Glenn saying, hey, we're going to come out there. They talked to Aiden. they're going to go out there and make some type of an impact this week. I need to see that. I need to see that number 2 overall pick. I don't need 10
Did he
sacks.
play last week?
No, he did, but his stats didn't,
Him and I put up the same amount of stats.
Yeah, at least can you match what Trayvon Walker did against the Commanders?
Right. Yeah, we're going to get to evaluate that going against the same right tackle
right.
That Trayvon Walker just played. So, I mean, look, and that was something that I think was sure. Did Aiden make an impact on that game? No, he didn't. When you look at the stat box, but were there plays where he was close? There were a lot of plays where he was close, and that's the difference.
And that's just it. I think that he got baptized to the NFL. He saw preseason speed. He saw NFL speed in game 1. It was, I think, that first time it looked like he had Jalen Hurts dead to rights.
Yeah.
And Hurts just went like the road runner from Bugs Bunny, and meet gone.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this too. I mean, Philly's O-line is a whole lot different than what he saw against Atlanta and what he saw against Pittsburgh. And there's going to be a lot of really good defensive players. I made this point earlier in the week. There's going to be a whole lot of really good defensive players that when they play the Eagles O-line and when they play against Jalen Hurts are going to look silly. So I don't think there's any no necessity to really pile on Aiden Hutchinson for not performing week 1 and not having amazing stats. But you're right. This is a kid that, do I expect him to be a whole lot better this week? I certainly do. You're going against an offensive line that's one of the weakest, in my opinions, in the league, and you're going against a guy in Carson Wentz that is he mobile? I mean, I guess he's not afraid to pick up a couple first downs if he has to use his feet, but it's a totally mobile-ish. I mean, he's not just a statue. He's no, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, just standing back there, a stationary figure. He's going to move a little bit, but do I expect Aiden and really that whole defense to be better? I expect them to be a whole lot better.
Let me ask you this question, because look, this is your forte, offensive line. Obviously, I'm not asking you to predict the future, but I love the fact they ran the ball against Philly. That's a major, major feather in the cap for the O-line. They're banged up, and I'm a little concerned with the participation that Ragnow didn't practice. And look, guys don't practice on Friday. They generally don't play. So where are you at headed into this deal? Jacksonville had some success against Washington on the ground. Where are you at confidence level, and if you can shed some light on what's going on up front?
Yeah, I'm not really worried at all, to be honest with you. And I don't say that because I know anything, but Frank also didn't practice last week. Jonah, I think, was new. I think that was – I don't know if he got injured during the game Sunday or if he got injured during practice on Wednesday, but – you're right, Mike. Most of the time, hey, if you see a guy out on Friday, it's not good going into Sunday. But I think there are certain exceptions. I think when you have a veteran guy like Frank Ragnow, you don't really need him to practice. It's kind of one of those things, dude, take the week, get healthy. We need you on Sunday. And I could also see how they're maybe taking a little bit extra precaution with even some of the other guys, with Jonah included, where you already lost one starter for – it's going to seem like it's going to be longer than 4 games. I know Coach Campbell mentioned that Vaitai had back surgery a couple days ago. He'd be hard pressed to probably make it back the rest of the year. So you're already down one starter
pop
for
a pimple.
Right,
he had surgery.
You're right. You're down one starter for a long time. Let's just keep it at that. You don't really want to risk any of these other guys, especially in practice. So, especially with guys that are proven players, right? Guys that have played a whole lot of snaps next to each other. They can take the field on Sunday after missing a couple practices and be totally fine. So I hope it's just precautionary. I would say right now I'm not generally concerned with it, but we'll see here in, I guess, less than an hour when the injury report comes out. Kind of the same thing as last week, right? With Frank. We didn't really know what's going to happen, but I would, in my opinion, I would expect to see both those guys play.
I have Rico, when we return, I have a question for TJ that I think is arguably the most important question that I've ever asked him.